Hi everyone, welcome back to Jolie Knots. I'm Crystal, and today I'm going to take you along how I journal in the mornings with my divination cards. This morning I'm using Lenormand cards. Here in the celestial journal that we made in one of the last videos last month, we put this journal together with my goals and hopes of kind of putting all of my journal stuff in once. So doing like a month at a glance, doing some of my Lenormand cards and tarot card pulls that I had like in envelopes for the month, and those went into my journal. Now these little tarot cards, I got these from Temu so that I can glue them into my journal. And I obviously don't want to deface the artist's tarot, but these ones were, because I love the deck so much, I wanted to put them in my journal. So saving things from different places, and then also having like a collage of what my Lenormand pull was that day. Little notes, or journaling about it, maybe some tarot pulls, explanations, different, maybe if I'm mixing the tarot and the Lenormand. Anyways, I was going to do my pull today, and I thought that it would be a good idea to take you guys along with me. So this is a weekly pull. If you know Lenormand cards, I've just put, like the ring and the mountain and the mouse and, where it is, so that I can look at my week from the 23rd to the 29th and, just see what was told to me. Okay, so I'm just going to flip through a few of these so you can see. Here are some of the cards from the 6-month review. This is the Moonology, and this one is Activations. I have the actual decks of these, but like I said, I just picked an extra up from Temu so that I can put them into my journal. So these are my like review cards. And then I've got, stuff in my little pockets. And then starting in July, here's where I am so far in July. My household chores. I still need to figure out that stuff. My feelings, my map of consciousness, habits. And then here was my monthly pull that I did for, what I do is I like have envelopes. I do them for each month at the beginning of the year, or at least that's what I did this year. It's the first year I've done it. So these are all the cards that I had held in the envelope. So this is for my July cards. And then I have like my light, my dark, and then my unicorn, and the activators again. And then moving into like where I mixed tarot and Lenormand. Again, some tarot and Lenormand. And what I want to do with you guys now is do one of those spreads and maybe just give you inspiration maybe, or how you can still use art in your journal. Now this is like a junky journal. It's not, I make it real dingy and vintage and like used, so that way I feel like whatever I have, like this receipt, put that in there and use it as extra pages. These were the envelopes that I made for my card pulls that were for my 6-month review and then the beginning of July. And I had just made those out of paper and folded everything up. So now that, I've used them, I just shoved them right into here. The great thing about doing this planner, or I'm sorry, this journal that we made together, the Celestial series, is that we did them with a no-sew method. We didn't sew anything, which means that everything is still removable, that can slide in and out. So if I wanted to add an extra page right here, for example, I can just slide it right in. and add another page where I want to add it. And I love that about this journal. I do have to, it shifts a lot, which I don't really mind, but I love being able to keep, I guess, customizing it as the month goes by. If I want to pull or change a page from here or there, you know, from wherever. So that's definitely a bonus of doing the no-sew method, where I have 3 signatures in this one that are wrapped around. Now I have 2 signatures that are full. The June and July are, I mean, yes, July is already pretty hefty. But I have a small one for like little other notes and stuff. You know, little gold nuggets or things that I'm keeping for that I just haven't done anything with yet. So that's just showing you a little bit about the journal and the no-sew method. And here we go for July. And let's see, we're gonna do, let's do a small pull. Let's do a little one for today on the back of this small sheet. Okay, so let's go for Sunday and let's do a 3x3. And so what I mean by that, well, no, let's not do a 3x3 because this page is kind of small. Let's do, okay, so 3 Lenormand cards. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do it like this one. Let me find it. Similar to this one. So we're gonna pull 3 Lenormand cards and they're gonna tell us about our day, but then we're going to use those 3 Lenormand cards as houses, and we're gonna pull 3 more and correlate those into the houses. Okay, so I'll show you a little bit more of what I mean, but let's grab our deck. Today I'm gonna use the Celtic Lenormand by Chloe McCracken, and the art is by Will Worthington. I love this artist. I love it. Okay, so this is the deck we're gonna use. This deck has a lot of extra cards for choosing different men or children or different birds, different snakes actually, and trees. Your different familiar, different woman, and a different cavalier. So this is actually a really cool deck with a lot of options. I'll leave the link in it. It's mass market. I'll leave the link in the description box if you guys are interested in that one. Now, first thing I'm gonna do is, oops, I'm gonna get my first 3 cards. My first 3 cards, like I said, are gonna be my first initial pull about my day today. And then those will turn into houses. And then the 3 cards underneath it will give us a little bit more information about each house. Okay, so we've got the birds. This could be representing communication. Of course, the birds is mostly communication, but this could be more like chaotic communication. The path and the clover. So right away, this is telling me, so the birds is about like communication, conversation, sometimes like anxious or chaotic. You know how birds are like chitter chattering, nervous, kind of feeling some sort of meeting or social interaction. The path could be a decision or where I'm going. I do have a nail appointment today, so this could be about going out of the house, going to my nails and having conversation and things being chatty there. And I do have a lot of social anxiety, so that could definitely be that nervous energy. And this is luck. This is like, you know, small blessings, small successes. So that could totally be like the lightness of what this is talking about. And that's what I think it's talking about anyways. So I could have conversations. This could also be, maybe I am making a decision and I'm discussing with somebody about a decision. It doesn't necessarily have to be physically leaving the house, but this could be a decision about what I'm going to do, where I'm going to go, you know, a plan that I'm going to make in the future that's going to be, you know, successful, something like that. So now we're going to turn these into houses. We're going to use this as the house of the bird, the house of the path, and the house of the clover. And our next 3 cards are going to fall into those houses, and they're going to give us a little bit more clarity on each of those. So we've got the snake, the bear, and the bouquet. Okay, so we have the snake in the house of the birds, and a bear in the house of the path, and a gift within a gift. So the bouquet in the house of the clover. So to me, it looks like this is saying that I'm going, so it's not like there's going to be complications necessarily. And complications, like with this, seems to me like it's more in my head type thing, complications, because the bear here is more like protecting myself, like, or self-care, self-protection. Maybe it's going to be a little bit more emotionally like charged, I guess, than I would think, or because of my anxiety for like actually leaving places. Maybe that's what it's talking about, but it's still all gonna be a gift. So that's why I think this is more in my head type stuff. It's not gonna be something that's gonna affect it. I'm just gonna have to like do some grounding and mindfulness and stuff like that. Okay, so now for the art part. I feel like the art part also helps me to interpret and think of different scenarios or what the cards could mean. That's always helpful to me also. So that's why I like to do the art. And it's not just writing it down, it's like really putting in time and intention, you know, of how you want your day to be. So, like I said, we're going to do this little one. Now we're going to take our big, huge file folder envelope thing that we made in one of the last videos, and we're gonna get each of these to use in our artwork. So let's see, the owl, the birds. Here are all our photos of the birds. Oh my gosh, I love this one. Oh look, here's a bird with the clover. Let's use that, because then it's like, oh, well, it's not a clover, but we could turn it into a clover. It's kind of like a 2-in-1. Let's do that. Okay, so we're gonna use that, and then we need a path. Let's see, how is that gonna look together? There's the bird. Okay, so I know this is a little bit out there, but I think I'm gonna use this as my path and kind of like cut it down and let it run right between the bird and what we're gonna turn into a clover. I think I'm gonna do that. We'll see. because then it's like a little elevator in the sky. My thoughts, maybe. Okay, and then we have a snake, a bear, and the garden. I don't have a lot of, not the garden, bouquets, snakes or bears. But I think for a bouquet, where's the bouquet? I'm going to use part of this. And we're going to stick a little bear on there. Like a little sticker of a bear. I don't have very many bears. Or a lion. I use the lion too. Oh, I like this one. Because the lion shows strength. And then the snake. Let's see. We're going to use a pretty snake since maybe it's not such a big, huge complication. It's still going to end in a beautiful gift. So let's use those. You can also choose to like draw this if you want. There was one that I drew in the past. Let me see. But I am a terrible drawer. I don't draw very well. So they're literally like little kid drawings. Okay, so let's get this gazelle. I think I'm gonna leave it just like that, kinda. It seems like it will be kind of cool. And this we won't need the whole thing, of course. So like, I only really need, like I could just use this a little bit, but I kind of want to turn the whole photo into like a cohesive one. So there's like a full type of background, I guess you'd say. And then our lion, I'm gonna cut around him a little bit. And it's gonna go in the middle. So we're gonna have our bouquet, the lion, like this is all a gift, and then the little snake. And he's just gonna kind of come up like this. So we're not getting too fancy. I'm showing you guys like a super kind of basic. You could use stamps on this. We're gonna stamp in some clovers. I am going to distress the edges so that we don't see all this like white. Actually, let me tear this down to the size it needs to be. And let's distress our edges. So as I'm doing my art, I'm thinking, you know, of course, like, is this gonna be, it's probably more mental type chatter since there's really nothing else that's a negative on the board, or maybe just chatting with other people and me being stuck in my head about, I don't know, that, how I sound, how I seem, how I, whatever. Being nervous, my nervous energy. Okay, so those two are gonna go first. We're gonna glue those down first. We're gonna go this way. And then that way. And then we're gonna stick our little escalator in the sky. And then this greenery, we're just going to make sure that it is a clover. So I made this little like clover stamp. And we're going to take a paint marker. Or you could use ink, of course, but I'm going to use a green paint marker. Let's see if I can get it to not dry so fast. I'm just going to put some clovers in there. It doesn't look as good as I thought it was going to look, but that's okay. We'll take a different color green marker and kind of outline it a little. Let's see. Like this light green, maybe we could, yeah, give it some highlights. Ooh. I really am a terrible drawer, you guys. Okay, so we're gonna leave it like that. And then here on the bottom, we have our lion and our snake. But this snake, let's put the snake down here. Can you guys even see that on camera? I can't tell which way is, oh, here's his tail. Oh, okay, there we go. And now we'll put the lion. I'm gonna set him like that. And now, so that I can remember, I did this last time. I don't really have a better idea, but drop down below some better ideas. Maybe if I have like a little house outline, I just kind of like went like this to draw little houses on top of them. I know, you guys, I am a terrible drawer. I know. Okay. Oh, okay, so you know there's another thing we can do is add up these bottom lines. Like these, the queen is 12, the 6 is 6, the 7 is 7, obviously. And they're all diamonds, you guys. So if we add these up, 13 plus 12, 25. 25, the 25th card is the heart. The 25th card is the heart or the ring? The ring. So this could be about a cycle. This could be about a relationship. It could be about the relationship with myself, the commitment. The ring could be a commitment. This could be a commitment to myself, like self-care. And it's ending in, you know, a gift. So that's what how I'm going with this. So this is my little collage for today. My journal in today. And I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that I gave you some ideas of what to do in your journals and how to use some art, you know, cutting out magazine images or saving your stickers or, you know, just different things, and how to save it so that you can keep looking at it or continuing. It's just a lot more fun than when I just write them out. Like, I still write out my grand tableau because obviously it's large, but it does make it a little bit funner than just writing it out like this. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me, and we will see you next time.